car's repossessed. Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
You believe that less than a month ago we came up with this idea and now we're sitting here and we're doing this?
Yeah. Hey, man, everybody, welcome to the Extra Yard, with your boy Duncan, Coach West. Tell them who you is, Coach West.
Well, I'm Coach West. I've been coaching for about 25 years. The last 5 have been with the Wheelers with this guy here.
Yeah.
We started in 19. I also coached at Augustana College the last couple years. So I'm really excited about this opportunity to kick this off and, co-host a new podcast with the one and only Malik Duncan. So
I ain't nobody special, man. Nah, this is a great idea. I'm glad, we came up with the name, the Extra Yard, being football people. And I mean, it relates more than just football, life, the extra yard, going the extra mile for real and just going hard.
What do you think some things that, we're going to want to cover this season?
I don't know, man, because it's like, it could be anything for real. We just got to be open to the people. You feel me?
For sure.
Ask people for ideas, because sometimes a lot of people tell me they like to hear me talk because they know how I talk for days. So, we just be open to people, listen to people, and put topics out there. Or if people got different ideas they want to hear about, let's do it.
Yeah, I think you had a really good idea. Since this is going to be on YouTube, and we'll probably do some stuff on Facebook. If some people want to post some content, like ask some questions, to us, or ask just anything they want to, just post a comment. Also, if they have someone like a favorite player or whatever, on the Steamwheelers, or maybe if we're, gonna, face a different opponent, that week or whatever, if there's a player or whatever that they would like to hear from. I know that there are some coaches that we talked about, interviewing that hopefully will come on the show. So, I think that's a good idea as well.
For sure. I mean, just be open to people, period. People with small businesses, people with big businesses, people just every type of person, for real. You got whatever, for real. Firefighters, police officers. It don't matter. If a person want to be a guest on the show, I feel like we should just let them.
Yeah, I think what's going to be really important, about the content of this podcast is that, from my standpoint, is there are a lot of good coaches and a lot of good players in the minor league football system, if you will, if you want to refer to the IFL, the NAL, the CIF as minor league football. Our particular league, the IFL, is probably, I would consider the pinnacle of indoor football. Right now, as we're affiliated with the XFL. I believe it's now the USFL or UFL. Yeah. They went through that merger and stuff. We have that partnership, but there's a lot of coaches, there's a lot of players like you, out there that I feel like could glean some good information, from not only what we have to say, but from, some of the people that we're going to, probably bring on the show this year. So with that being said, what I'd like to do is like kick this off, and this is kind of be your showcase. Because I think, you've had an incredible journey. I don't, we've known each other since 2019. We spent a little bit of time here or there. Yeah. So this is actually going to be really good for me, too, because I've seen some podcasts that you've given recently in Cleveland. I love what I've learned about you. I've only known you really as a football player. I also know you as a human too, but I've only gotten bits and pieces of your story, so I think it's really incredible, to be honest with you. So.
Nobody really knows my story for like, I never really had the chance to really talk about my story, unless you really know me, and the people who only really know my story is like my auntie Lachelle, my sister, and my mom, and obviously my brother D-Jack, but and my pops, but they know what I went through in and out, for real, but that's it. Nobody really know.
So where are you from?
From Cleveland, Ohio.
Born and raised?
Born and raised, Cleveland, Ohio. Grew up in the projects of Cleveland, Ohio, East 55th and Bundy. East 63rd and Bundy, I'm sorry. So, yeah, so, It's exactly where it's known as King Kennedy, so that's where I grew up at. And then my father, mom, they have 4 kids. My dad has, we don't really know, about 13 plus kids, 14 plus
Now this
kids.
is the dad that I met.
Yeah, with the tat on his face,
The-
Mike Tyson. Yeah,
The one and only, the superstar on Twitter.
yeah, superstar, Instagram, whatever. His name, the real Mike Bell. If y'all ever want to follow him, go get my dad a follow, man. He great content for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is good stuff.
Yeah.
I remember meeting him one time, man. As a matter of fact, that's one guy that I would love to have on the show. You know.
Yeah, he got no filter. He'd love to do it.
What was not to get too far off track, but what was that podcast you did? Because I'd really like to give a shout out to the guy who put that on.
Mr. Dale Crenshaw. I played for his father, Coach Phil, for Lonnie Burton Redskins back in the day. Mr. Crenshaw, he's a great guy. He's nothing but Street Recovery. That was the name of the podcast. He's a great guy. His family is. I love his family. His family always showed nothing but support. They coached me in Little League. His father was like the head person over everything at the Little League program, and all his kids coached for real. And then his daughter, Ms. Nat, she did cheerleading. She coached the cheerleading team, so they real big. They watched the youth grow up, and tried to give us the great mentorship, to be great young men as the best they could.
And that Street Recovery was the name of the
Street
podcast?
Recovery was the name of the podcast. Yeah.
And it's still he still has episodes.
Yeah, he just did an episode actually with my mom and my sister.
Yeah,
So,
I did. You texted me that, and I watched a little bit of that. So for any of the listeners or watchers out there, make sure you plug into Street Recovery and check out that podcast because they got some really good content.
Yeah.
So sorry, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent, but I just wanted to
know,
not miss out on that.
That was good for sure.
So one of the things that I've learned about you, and I don't want to get like too far ahead.
Yeah.
It'll allow you kind of to go back on it. But what I found that was really profound is that you didn't start playing football, till like your sophomore year in high school.
No, so I played football since I was 9 years old, right? I played for this team called Forest Hill Tigers. And then Forest Hill Tigers, I played, that was just with my mom, what she knew. She didn't allow me to go play for Lonnie Burton, right, which was my little league team that I played for a great amount of years. She didn't allow me to go play right away there because we lived on the other side of town. We had to move because my grandmother, she needed more space. And my grandmother, we needed one of them recliner things to take her up and down and stuff like that because she started to get old. So we moved out the way so we could have that in a bigger house, So I found a team, Forest Hill Tigers, which later down the road ended up becoming Shaker Fire Raiders. It had some.
What age group is this?
This is 9 to about 13. All these, this is like Pop Warner,
Gotcha.
And Messon had some great coaches there. I had a great coach named Coach Greg Alexander. Unfortunately, he just passed away. So I pay my respects to everybody from the Forest Hill Tigers, Shaker Fire family, because he called me Nike Time. He used to call me Nike Time Malik. So because I used to try to wear Nike all the things, but he was a great coach. But yeah, I met some great guys there. So after that, I ended up finally going to play for, the home team, I say, Lonnie Burton Redskins. I played with my cousin Jerome Baker. That plays on the Dolphins. He was playing for the Bulldogs. So his dad and my dad, they best friends, and he got us to play together. So that was when we was like 10. So it was me, my cousin Jerome, my cousin Tevin, my cousin Wheat, my cousin.
Jerome went on to play at Ohio State, right?
Went on to play Ohio State. Now I got a cousin named Eric Smith. He played with us at Lonnie Burton. He actually went on to go to Ohio State as well. We had a great team, but when I was 10, but we just wasn't. We didn't win a lot of games. We won a good amount, but it ended up becoming me and my cousin Jerome team. When we was 11, we ended up going undefeated, and then we lost in the second round of the playoffs to the East 88th Street Browns, and that was like our teams in Little League, and we call it Muni League in Cleveland.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And it was some crazy talent. Like I remember games like it was left and right. Actually, my brother DJ, his team went undefeated that year. When we went undefeated, it was on the other side, Glenville, and we would have played each other in the championship. But we didn't find out we was brothers until we was 12 years old. So we 11 years old, and his team undefeated, my team undefeated. I remember watching them play. He remember watching me play. It's crazy. We talk about it now, but we didn't know who each other was. So Yeah, they went undefeated. He actually went on to win the championship that year. So then after that, I actually went to Glenville and to go play with D-Jack. And with my cousin Quan Robinson, he ended up going to Kent State. But his dad was saying, you got a brother named Madball, right? So my fun fact, people don't know, my dad, when he used to be in jail, his nickname was Mad Dog. Because my dad and he used to be angry and stuff like that. But it's a coincidence that, Darion, D-Jack, his nickname was Mad Ball. So, they say you got a brother. So we finally get a chance to meet when we 12 years old. And it was like a book, like a fairy tale for real. You looking at each other like, dang, we brothers, So he was playing fullback and linebacker. But when I got there, they moved me to fullback, and they just let him play defense. So we were just like tick for tack.
So you and Darian were on the same team?
Yep. When we finally met each other as brothers, I ended up going there to play with him, man. Yep. We was on the same team.
So we probably should clarify, for people who don't know who Darian is, make sure you explain who Darian is. For the people in the IFL that are going to be listening to this podcast, they're very well aware
they know
of who D-Jack is.
Yeah, they know who he is.
So, but you may want to, you speak to that real quick.
I mean, Darion Jackson, you know what I'm saying? Go on YouTube, check him out. A-State finest, Coffeeville finest. You know what I'm saying? Action Jackson. That's my
And we may have to show that Vegas video, remember? At the Mexican restaurant when he ate the worm.
Yeah, you might have to show that one time. That might have to be a little, you know what I'm saying? Just slide that in right here when he was drinking the Scorpion. That's what it was.
Drinking the Scorpion, man. So we'll have to piece that in there so you can edit that in there.
Got to. But yeah, D-Jack, man, that's my road dog, man. That's my dog.
But what accolades did he get last year for defensive player?
He got first team on IFL, and then he fell short for defensive player of the year. But in my eyes, he was defensive player of the year because you got a guy who had 8 interceptions and 3 to the crib, 4 to the crib. You can't coach that.
We will have to get him on the show.
You got it.
You think he'll do it?
He gonna always do it. If I tell him to jump, he gonna ask how high. That's the type of guy he is.
And I'll let him know. I'll let him spill the beans on what your nickname is.
I mean,
I know
tell him,
you can't tell anybody right now.
Yeah.
We'll let Darian do that because.
So if y'all ever see D-Jack, call him Sad Nuts. That's his nickname for me. Sad Nuts and my cousins.
We'll let D-Jack share what his brother's nickname is, which I think is very fitting. I actually wanted to use that for the title of our podcast, this year, but Dunk wanted Dunk, not his nickname. So we'll get to that. Nickname. But we got off on a tangent again now. So about 9th grade, right? Is that when you got...
9th grade, I end up so when I left Glenville, I ended up playing, I was going to play high school. I went to Cleveland Central Catholic. And then I said, you know what? I'm not ready. I was on some scary stuff. I'm like, I ain't ready for this, So I decided to go to play Little League again. Excuse me. And, excuse me, for the Lake Erie Sharks. Mm-hmm. And, because I was young, and I graduated high school. I was 17 years old. And I was still 13 at the time going into high school. Mm-hmm. So I still could play Little League Pee Wee. So I played. I'm like, forget it. Shout out to Coach Ron. He gave me an opportunity. Shout out to Coach Tug. Shout out to Coach, from Lonnie Bergen, Coach PJ, Coach Mike, Coach Juice. I can go on and on. Them guys, they played a big part of my Little League career. Coach Ron.
I can tell you this for 100% as a coach. I've been coaching 25 years and I should say off and on, probably more so in the last, 10 years, but you got some good coaching. Yeah, you got some really good coaching.
When I went to Lake Erie Sharks, it was different. I'm in the 9th grade, so I'm the only high schooler, but I'm not really high school developed. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a little kid for real. My coach, my boy Coach Twan, was his name. It's his name. I'm sorry, Coach Twan is his name, and then he was our offensive coordinator. He believed it don't matter. You got to do whatever it takes to be a team player. And I'm coming from being a star on teams. You know what I'm saying? And then I go play for him. He tried to get me to play quarterback, but he like, you know what? You're playing tight end. I'm like, tight end? Like, what did you see?
I can't see you as a tight end.
But exactly. But he would put me at tight end or he would put me at tackle. His whole thing was he was trying to install it. Now that I'm older, and I still think him to this day, he was trying to install it to us as kids. You have to be a team player in order to get to where you want to be in life to win. If you want to win a championship, this is the formula. Everybody has to make sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? We had my boy Ty. He was playing quarterback. We had different things going on. We had so much talent on our team that we were just able to. You got to make a sacrifice. If you got to play linebacker, you got to play linebacker. You got to play DN. You got to play DN. I didn't understand that at first because you're young. You think if you're a star need the ball. Nah, his offense, his team, you got to make sacrifices.
So you learned, very early on, and big shout out to your coaches. You learned humility and selflessness, almost right, from the get go.
Yeah, you ain't. Yeah, like.
I mean, you learned, that, hey, if coach thinks, I should play this position. I may not really like it, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability.
That was at the end of my career of Little League, yes, because all the other ones they put me, okay, we need to get this guy the ball, like that type of things, or at first it was just like, oh, I'm just doing this, but once I actually started getting some confidence, now it's like, okay, this guy can play, you know what I'm saying? Let's get him the ball. So that's what that ended up. But then later down the career in the, Muni League, I had to just do what I had to do when I played for them. You got literally 10, 11 stars. Everybody was different. You had different guys, and it's like we all on one team. We just got to do what we got to do. We started losing early. I think we barely made the playoffs. We were like 4-4, and then we ended up beating the number one seed. And we beat the number one seed in the second round to go to championship, and we beat the team called the Stallions in the championship. They was stacked. It was crazy. Like it was 6-0 the championship game. But I remember that, and I call him Uncle Mike. My boys Uncle Mike and Uncle John, they installed in us too, because I played basketball growing up too around that era. And the team, they had Coach John and Coach Mike, they had a team called Showboat. And a lot of those guys, that was their name and their team. Now, mind you, now that I'm older, they only like 10, 11 years older than me now. But, they was, I tell them all the time, I respect them so much because they was 19, 20, 21, you feel me, paying out of pocket for us to play AAU basketball and coaching us and, doing what they can. Like, and they still try to keep the tradition going. It's obviously a different team names, but they just was, grinders, like, and I tell them now that I'm older, like, man, I thank y'all because, like, y'all did what y'all could. I can't even imagine being 21 coaching some 11, 12-year-olds, and that type, with my own money and, paying for my own travel. They didn't even charge us to play. They was paying for it themselves.
So you had some young adults that were pouring into you at an early age. So, I mean, I'm guessing you were about how old then?
About 12, 13,
yeah. And they're 19, 20.
They probably no, because what am I? I'm 27. I think Uncle John, they probably like, they almost 40, so they little old young dudes for real. They old but think they young. That's the type of people they is.
I get it. Kind of like me.
Yeah. But they just did that, man. But then after that, I went to high school, Cleveland Central Catholic. I had no choice but to go there because my oldest brother, his name Dede Michael Duncan. Shout out to Coach Duncan if y'all ever get a chance. Buddha Bell, that's his name on Instagram. Head coach at Cleveland Central Catholic, man. That's my older brother. That's the.
Before you get to high school, though, I wanted to touch on a few things before we hit that milestone in your life. What are some other things you did aside from football? You mentioned you play some basketball and whatnot.
I was terrible. I was shitty.
Okay.
Yes. You
play baseball or anything like that?
I ain't got no hand-eye coordination.
One of the interesting things that I heard, I think, street recovery that I wanted to ask you about is you didn't go outside. Tell me a little.
No.
Tell me a little, and you this is gonna kind of parlay into another question that I have for you about a phone conversation that we had when you were in Cleveland. But I want you to speak to.
Yeah, we don't got to talk about the phone conversation. I know what you're talking about.
No, well, maybe. When you were in the car?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't touch that.
Yeah,
okay.
We don't got to never touch that.
Well, maybe we will. I don't know.
No, we don't. No, we ain't going to touch that one. I know what you're talking about. No, we ain't got to talk. But no.
Because there's got to be a similarity to it.
No,
the reason why you didn't go outside as a kid.
Well, no, I didn't go outside just because, I just was a guy who I would be in my drawers and I would play with toys and video games, I didn't feel
I thought maybe it was
like fear and stuff.
Yeah.
No, I it wasn't really fear. It was just more like I just didn't like outside. What is outside? If I'm gonna go outside, that's when I go to school and go to recess for.
Because I mean, the reason why I wanted to touch on that just a little bit is, people that listen to the the podcast, they may be where I'm from, like Galva, Illinois. I mean, my graduating class had, I think, like 50 people in it.
Yeah.
The whole town was like 3,000. So, I mean, you talk about Cleveland and Chicago. I mean, they have no concept, about
sure.
stuff like that. So it's like when you were on street recovery, that kind of struck me, and it reminded me of the other conversation that we had, a live conversation that I won't go into detail, about. But since you didn't want to talk about it, I respect that. But that's kind of where I thought, there was a parallel. You didn't go outside because you're like,
I just didn't like outside. My mom used to my auntie Doris. Her son, Jay, that's my cousin. He passed away. He got killed back in 2019. But my mom will call him to come get me to go outside. Mm-hmm. I'm not going outside. I used to tell him that. I don't know why you think I'm coming. What would you come all the way over here if your mom dropped you off 45 minutes away, 30 minutes away, 20 minutes away? I'm not going outside. He used to be mad, but I'm not.
So you really, early on, really didn't exhibit like a whole lot of, I mean, I don't want to say
outside,
athleticism from the standpoint of your interests were staying inside, playing video games, and just chilling.
Yes,
really.
I was cool.
Until like what age?
Until I turned 21. For real. I mean,
man, I don't get that. There's no way that's
okay. I
case.
wouldn't say 21. I say college, which is 18, 19. I mean, obviously,
to me, it just blows my mind. I mean, how could someone be so good at what you were good at, and we haven't even got to high school yet, and then to college, we're going to talk about that here. I mean, you talk about, blessings from God. I mean,
I worked hard, man.
I mean, I know you worked hard. We're going to talk about that too, but I mean, the pedigree of people that are in your family, I think you've already spoke to that, Jerome Baker, probably one of the best linebackers in the league.
For sure.
He got hurt, and, we're praying for him, quick recovery. But I mean, there's a lot of athletes in your family.
I got a cousin. He can hoop. His name Didi, but he was just he has stuff going on in the streets and stuff like that. But he on the right path. But he was a baller. Like, he just naturally had talent. Like, I seen him literally playing in rec leagues, going against Terry Rozier and all them type of guys that's in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's scoring too. Like, that's my dog. Like, my cousin Didi, like, that's him and his little brother Gino. That's my little cousin. He in college right now, but them dudes is great players. You know what I'm saying? They had it. Like, them my family members who had it. My cousin in Glasgow, like, them dudes got natural talent. I ain't never had no natural talent. I mean, Baker, prime example. Like, since we was kids, he always had natural talent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, we got a video on Facebook somewhere of we was trying to lift weights. Well, I was trying to lift. He was trying to lift. We was trying to lift, and now that I know what it is, it was 35s on the thing. You know what I'm saying? He's benching it. Boom, boom, boom. He did like 4 or 5, and then I go, and then I drop it on my chest, and I'm like, help me. My voice is so low. I'm like, help me. He told me what are you doing? Get that shit up. And I'm like, dude, like, do you not see it cave in my chest right now? And
so how much older is he, or younger than you?
He was born on Christmas, so we the same age. We just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just born in September. He born in December. Okay. But
so talk about high school now, a little bit, and did I get that right, that you didn't start till your you didn't play till your sophomore year?
I ain't start till I was a junior.
But you played all the way through high school.
Well, freshman year I played Little League. Sophomore year, like, they say like our team was JV. No, it's a freshman team. So I'm pretty much in the 10th grade playing freshman football, for real. And I'm playing, all the dudes I came in with, when we were sophomores, they was playing varsity. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we had all type of talent in my high school. Like, we had, our secondary was like them dudes. My dude Chris Kelso, we had a dude named Griggs, Wheat, my cousin DJ Wheat. I can go on and on. Them guys was dominant. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at them, watching them like, damn, they on varsity, they playing. I'm not playing. And then junior year, I end up just saying, I mean, sophomore year I played like I was just playing anything for real. O-line, D-line, linebacker, you know what I'm saying?
That's how it goes. You know?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find. I'm trying to play tight end. I'm just trying to get on the field. You know what I'm saying? And then junior year, they put me at linebacker. My coach, Coach Foot, he was real tough. He was a DB coach, but our head coach is Coach Lundy. He's still the coach to this day there. But
That's at Central Catholic?
Cleveland Central Catholic, yes sir. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I tried to play linebacker. I played the first 3 games, and then after that, they benched me for the rest of the season. I remember and I just played special teams. We played Shaker. High school. I remember like it was yesterday. We played Shaker High School, and they did a bubble on the opposite side of the field. Dude made 2 dudes miss and score. He broke for like 40, and I'm trying to chase him down, and next you know, they took the whole linebacker crowd. Me, my dude D-Nail, my dude Terry, and they took us all out. And then they put in whole new guys, and then we never seen the field ever again. And then, yeah, I just said when that season ended, I was just like, I learned how to, you know, sell myself, right? So I started like sending my film. I just was, you know, big on like trying to figure out I want to go to college. Like I want to go to college. And
when was in your opinion, your coming out, like the beginning of what we know now as Malik?
Right
Duncan?
after when that season ended, I started sending my film, and I can't remember who told me. They was like, you need to start saying you a safety, right? So I'm putting in the email, strong safety, boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. And I'm lying. I'm cutting clips quick. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just trying to show snippets. You feel me? And then
selling yourself.
Yeah, I'm selling it for real. So I started getting people hitting me back. Unfortunately, you know, my mom, I got a single parent. You feel what I'm saying? My dad does what he can for sure, but it's mainly my mom. I'm a mama's boy. You know what I'm saying? I love my dad to death for sure, but I'm saying like my mom is my best friend. Like,
your mom is a good woman.
Yeah, she's a great woman. Shout out to Wanda Duncan, but she, you know, that's my dog, and she make it happen for 4 kids. Whatever she, you know, if we need some money, you know, growing up, we gonna get some money. You don't ask no questions how she getting the money or what she, you know what I'm saying, but she gonna get it. She'll make sure you cool. But she was just pretty much like, you know, gotta do what she gotta do. And I'm like, you know, I need to start selling myself. So I start selling myself. People start saying, I start getting interest, and people start saying I need to come to camps, right? I couldn't really afford camps. You know what I'm saying? These camps are $100 a pop. You feel what I'm saying? This ain't no, I'm trying to go to Pitt camp, Ohio State. Boom, I'm trying to.
So just help me remember, this is after high school, or
this is going into my senior year.
Your senior
year.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I said, somebody told me I need to switch my position. I switched my position to corner. My Uncle Juice, he started working me out probably 2 times a week. And we started doing DB drills. And he always just told me, like, mechanics you do the simple things, you're going to always be successful. For sure enough, you like, boom. So we would work every week. Camp started coming around. Nobody knows this to this day. My auntie Lachelle, shout out Auntie Lachelle, I love you. She paid for all my camps. She don't ask for no, like, she don't want to be seen, and she did the back end work. And I never really was able to really tell people, because people always ask, like, dang, you know, how was you able to go to these camps and stuff like that? She paid for every camp I ever went to going into my senior year. The Ohio State camp, Pitt camp, Bowling Green.
That was your aunt, though?
Yeah, she paid for all them camps. Like, she made sure she like, well, you going to go? Okay, I'm paying for it. Boom, she'd pay for it. My mom would drive us down, or my brother would drive us down. Well, whoever just driving me down. And I actually went to my best success camp was at Ohio State. And I had like these weird things. Like, if I run fast, my drills would be shitty. If I run slow, my drills was real good. I was just nervous. You know what I'm saying? I switched positions, so my time started to shine. I actually end up picking up an offer, Notre Dame College, right? Now, you hear somebody that barely plays come back to the school and say, yeah, I just got offered. You're going to look crazy.
Where's Notre Dame College at?
It's in Cleveland. It's in Euclid, right. South Euclid. Right. Yeah, but, you know, people looking at me crazy like, you got an offer. How? You ain't even fucking play. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, this is the proof.
Yeah, you were bouncing all over a different position.
Different positions. So now I haven't even played a game at corner.
So you actually put some good film, you know, on some practice film, you know, when you were working with your
Yeah, but nobody never seen that. The only thing they ever seen was
your tryouts,
the tryouts, and then junior year tape. You see, okay,
Got
potential. It. Now I'm going to work out. Notre Dame, see me at Ohio State camp. Boom, offer me.
Who was I don't remember the DB that we had.
Ron Salter.
Yeah, Ron,
that's my dog. Dude. He's a Notre Dame DB. He went to Notre Dame. Yeah, he went to John F. Kennedy. We used to scrimmage them a lot. He was a dog. People don't even know Ron played quarterback. Ron was different, but my high school we breed like maybe 4 guys a year. That's maybe 4+ for real. A lot of our guys in my high school, football wise, get overlooked. We got prime person that nobody, that a lot of people don't even believe when they say he went to our high school. Monte Gaddis, he ended up, that's like one of my role models, mentors for real. We talk all the time. He ended up going to Townsend and being an All-American linebacker at Townsend. Never got a chance in the NFL, which I never understood because his 2 years at Townsend, he had damn near over 300 tackles. He was just dominant. We had Kahari Dixon running back. He ended up going to St. Francis first. He, he helped me get into St. Francis. Like, it's just so many people for real that, like, we had Jeremy Whitlow. He ended up going to Illinois.
So you had a lot of influence. You had a lot of support. But, I mean, I think you touched on probably one of the most important things for, some of our listeners to, take from is if you're in that situation, don't be afraid to sell yourself and take the initiative.
Yeah, you don't know who might see you.
Step out on a limb. Take chances. People may say, "Oh, you're crazy," whatever. But I have this saying that if you can't catch a fish unless you throw a hook.
For sure, people thought I was crazy, coach. To the point, like they're like, "How are you?" You know what I'm saying? And I'm just doing it. I'm like, fuck it. Like I'm sending film. I'm doing what I gotta do. I'm sending emails. I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone all day. If I'm on my phone all day, I'm emailing. They're like, "Dude, what are you doing?" I'm emailing people. Like
you had a vision. And I talk about, manifesting like an outcome and like really truly believing that something's going to happen. I think it came down to you had a vision, for yourself. You were surrounded by all of these great people and this, tremendous support structure that it was going to be very hard for you to fail. Yeah. I think that's what, is really important, is utilize the resources you have and, take the initiative and make the most out of each situation. Be a salesperson.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard though because like like my high school, like like it was tough for real. I'm dealing with people every day talking about me, all type of stuff. People saying all type of stuff.
Yeah, and you got to block that out. And I'm sure that you did block that out.
Yeah, you couldn't. I'm 15, 16 years old. My brothers was the man in high school. In sports, and here I'm the next one up. I ain't shit. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, people calling me Rudy and, talking about me crazy and, mentally draining me. But going into that senior year, it made me feel how I feel right now.
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
Like, the way I feel right now in my life, Like, that's exactly how I feel. And when I said it in that last podcast, like, everything that I'm even experiencing right now in life, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's just like a flashback. And then I know that what's going to come at the end of the tunnel is going to be the similar situation. I just don't know what's next. You feel me? After this next season.
I mean, I think that's a really good point, too, Malik, is like, if you have a way to like harness like negativity and use it as energy, for motivate you to succeed, like being called Rudy or being,
called a fat ass,
being too fat to play corner or safety or whatever. A lot of people will give up. They'll be like, oh, I didn't make it to the league. I'm 300 pounds. I'm not saying that's what you were, but I mean, I'm just hypothetically, I'm 300 pounds. I'm out of shape. I'm not going to do this anymore and stuff. And then just go into this
depression,
spiral.
Even more depression.
Yeah. And we hear about a lot of coaches and players, obviously more players than coaches, that, they fall into alcoholism and, just all these things after football is over with and stuff. And I that's one thing that I just really admire about you, Malik, is just your whole body of work and where
hard though, coach.
where you've been, and we're not even done yet. Right. Just from your junior year in high school, and you had from my understanding, you had an amazing senior year, right?
Oh, outstanding. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it led to that, and then I ended up getting the offer. Boom. I ended up having Michigan State hit me up, right, going into my senior year. And then we end up going to their 7-on-7 camp. Now, I don't even start. Mind you, I don't start corner. Second string corner. So the coach, his name was like Coach Barnett. He came up to me, grabbed me by my shoulders. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? That's what I said, like, out loud. I'm thinking it's one of my friends. Boom, it's the coach. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, coach. Da, da, da. He's like, why you not in? Quickest lie ever in my head. Oh, yeah, we just rotating. That's what I say, right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You are pretty slick, man.
Yeah, I hit him with some, we just rotating. So then, boom, I get in. And I started balling. You know what I'm saying? And then my coach is Coach Foot. He was my DB coach. He called me Instagram, right? Instagram. That's what he say. But he tell everybody now to this day, him and my head coach Lundy, that I motivated them to understand that you can give a kid a chance to prove you wrong.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? He tell them all the time, this might be the next Malik Duncan story. Boom, boom. And next you know, after that, boom, I started playing more. Then we had a 7-on-7 in Reynoldsburg. And I remember like it's yesterday, dude burnt me. Boom, right? And now Coach Foot, he got this thing called the Yankum system. If you fuck up, you get yanked right out. Like, you get beat, yank, you coming out next play. Like, ain't no, yeah, you're gone. Get up out of here. So, the dude burned me, coach. He was like, oh, motherfucking Duncan. Oh, let's go, right? Dude burned me. He caught in the end zone. I dove, punched it out, and he ain't score. And then that's that day, I started starting. And then he like, all right, I just want to see what you're going to do in the pads. I really wasn't a good tackler. I was decent. But that corner, he really ain't got to tackle. Then on the other side,
Don't say that.
You got to tackle. If you listen to this and you play corner, you need to tackle. But on the other side, my boy Sean Harris, we trained all the time. We used to train in the weather like this. We'd go shovel 20 yards, and we'd shovel outside of CCC, and we'd work out. Sean was like, that's my right hand man. Like, he really helped me through that cornerback, that DB process. He would watch film. He the one who really installed in me to watch film. And Sean younger, like he older than me, but he in a younger grade. So he's teaching me his stuff. You feel me? And my brother and his uncle was tied. They played together. So it was good to play together with me and Sean. But and he just ended up teaching me a lot. And then I end up.
Now, did you get all conference or anything like that your senior year?
I can't remember. I think I did. I don't know. I can't remember. But
not that it really matters, but
I didn't get scored on.
But I was just curious because I know that we had talked one time too that I didn't know if it was a record or whatever, but you said you didn't get scored on.
Yeah, I didn't get scored on my senior year of high school. I didn't get scored on at all. Like me and Sean, we played against some dominant dudes. We was getting busy, but we ended up taking my school to the second ever playoff appearance, and we lost first round at Chagrin Falls, and it didn't matter after that for me because like now it's time to go to college. A lot of people don't know. I remember Purdue came to see me, and they came in that room, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? They like people running upstairs, Dunk, Purdue. That's when I earned the name Dunk, my senior year of high school. Mm-hmm. I was always Malik, and then people started calling me Dunk. So that's what it was. And then they like Purdue here, and I'm like, Purdue, like the big Purdue. They came for me, and I remember talking to him, and he asked me what was my ACT, and I like paused. I looked away. I'm like, yeah, it's a 14. That was the last time I talked to Purdue. Like that was it. But
how did you wind up at St. Francis then?
So I originally committed to West Liberty D2, and then St. Francis offered me a preferred walk-on at the time. The coach that was there really didn't like my game, and then the DC, and then he felt like I wasn't aggressive enough, and then the new DC stepped in, Coach Craig.
I have a hard time believing that you weren't aggressive.
No, I wasn't. I was tackling, but I wasn't what he liked it. So I had a new DC come in, Coach Craig, and then Coach Craig brought me in, and then he gave me a scholarship, and the rest was history.
Because a lot of our listeners and watchers are going to see some highlight film of you, and it's I
got better. You know what I'm saying?
You got a lot better when it came to the aggressive category.
For sure.
When was that Rankin that you dropped on his head that one time? Who was that?
I never had Rankin. It was another.
Who dropped on their head?
I don't know. Man. They didn't see the clip.
It was when you were in Bismarck. When we were in Bismarck.
Yeah, that was a good tackle.
That's right. That was a dumb question. It wasn't Rankin because you guys were teammates that year.
Yeah, you tripping. But no, I ended up going to St. Francis, and then I ended up earning a starting job as a freshman, like the third week, and then the rest was history. Played nickel my whole freshman year. Me and my boy Lon the Don. Londo, he was the dime, and then after that, sophomore year, we took off. Sophomore year, he played safety, I played corner. My friend group, man, in college was amazing. It was, especially like they were just tough on me at the time, and the things that they would try to teach me. My dude Ponder, my boy Reese, Byron, Keen, Londo. They was just like they was always trying to be on me about like being healthy and stuff like that. My dude Tamir, he's a trainer in L.A. He be with Anthony Davis and stuff like that. But they was always doing the healthy shit, right? Mm-hmm. Not me. Malik Duncan, I'm eating pizza and I go play.
And you were still that thin.
I was cool.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either.
When I used to see, some of your old college film, I was like, good night.
But nobody, it's crazy. My sophomore year, I was 180 and I got demolished in the conference championship to the point where nobody, like my friend group, didn't talk to me. I got on the bus, right? I get on the bus and my dude, they did. My dude Londo didn't talk to me for like 2 weeks. But my dude P was like, yeah, Lee. He tapped me. He like, yeah, Lee. You got your ass killed, bro. I'm like, damn, like, y'all act like I blew the game or something. He didn't even score, but it was this dude at Duquesne. His name was Wayne Capers. He was like, he built like a running back, man. I just couldn't guard him. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was a big game. And I'm 18 years old. Because I was 17 my freshman year. I was 18. And I couldn't handle him. You feel me? But that day turned me up to the point where, you know what? I'm hitting the gym. And I put on like, I went from 185 to like 220, right? Went to 220. We played them that next year, my junior year. And my junior year in college was the best year of my life, for sure. Like hands down, through everything. I was ready. I remember lining up first play of the game. I said, I've been waiting on this for a whole year. You know, what I had to deal with. My own friends wouldn't even talk to me. Like, this is real. And I end up that game. I think they had like 4 or 5 targets on me, 1 catch for 2 yards. Like, my junior year was my best year. Like, my first game of the year was against Montana. I think I had like 4 PBUs. We lost, but my school, our secondary was always great. Like, we had some great corners before me, dude named Mike Dennis, named Daquan Mentor. We had a safety, Lorenzo Jerome. He went to the league. I can go on and on about.
Now, did you come out after your junior year?
I came out after my senior year.
Your senior year?
Yeah.
But you still had another year of eligibility, right?
No, I played all 4. But if I can ever go back, I would have. They asked me to redshirt my freshman year. I should have did it because I would have been even more better, But it's cool. I feel like it was just God's plan, for real, for real.
So, what happened after graduation? What camps did you go to? It's my understanding you went to.
I went to the Steelers. Yeah. So after. I ended up becoming All-American. I remember that call. I was just telling that call to Jared. I was in Belize on a boat, and they called me, and he was like, "Hey man, this is such and such from such and such. Just want to let you know you have been named FCS All-American." I thought it was a damn joke. I said, "Man, send me the link. I'm on the boat. You feel me? I'm on the boat drinking. I'm having a great time before I go start training." I got that link. I was like, "Oh, I'm about to party it up today." I was just living it up.
Greatest feeling in the world, isn't it?
It's the best feeling ever. And after that, I got a call to go to the Steelers. Unfortunately, I ran a slow 40, but 4.66. But I did 225, 21 times, and da-da-da. But yeah, I went to the Steelers, and then after the Steelers, I ended up getting released, and then I ended up going to coaching. Started coaching at Mercyhurst. Had an itch for the game still. I'm only 22 years old. Ended up signing with Quad City. And then
you didn't go to. Did you go to Cleveland at all?
I had a workout with the Browns.
Yeah,
I had a little private workout with the Browns, but no, that was before the draft. They ain't picking me up. From my understanding, from what my agent at the time told me, he was saying I wasn't big enough. So it was like, all right, you know what I'm saying.
So you went to coaching college for a year, right?
No, hell no. I coached for 5 months, and I'm getting the hell out of here.
And then that's when you came to Quad Cities. And
I got the Quad City offer. I didn't come to Quad City automatically. I ended up signing with the Philadelphia Soul.
That's right.
And then I went to the Soul, thought I was going to make it. They released me. Boom, came to Quad City, and the rest was history. But, yeah, that was that one.
Who called you?
Coach
QC?
Ross.
Coach Ross?
Yeah, Coach Ross. And I had a call from him, Bismarck, Green Bay, but it was just different when I talked to Coach Ross. Like, it just felt like.
He was a special guy, man.
Yeah, it was a connection, for real.
One of my great friends, great mentor. Hopefully we'll be able to get him on the show. I don't want to let too much out. I want to be able to give all respect to him and let him speak to his history and stuff. But it's definitely, he's a great guy, and I mean, opportunities abound for both of us. A lot of things have blossomed for me as a direct result of Coach Ross, and I know the same, for you. So in the pros now, what do you think some of your biggest challenges have been?
I've been overweight. That's real real live, real. You feel what I'm saying?
Well,
And
I mean, I would say 19 when I saw you.
19, I was fitted. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like,
And then
but I
20
didn't train or nothing. Like, people don't understand. Like, I didn't train. You know, I just came from coaching. I did little bitty workouts in coaching. I just still had my little mini college body for real. I didn't train.
19, you came in. I mean, it looked like you were in, pretty good shape. 2020.
Yeah, I worked out every day.
Oh my
You know what I'm
gosh.
saying?
I mean, people.
My cousin got killed. It turned me up, and I just worked out.
You came
every
in.
day.
I think you would agree that was the best shape you had been in your pro career
in my whole life.
Yeah.
I never ran as much as I did.
And we all know what happened in 2020.
Yeah,
COVID.
Right.
COVID happened,
and that mentally took me down. I'm like, damn, I just sacrificed the whole year, and then this happened.
Yeah.
So yes, I went to my friend got killed in 2020 as well. One of my friends. I went to do a depression mode for real. You feel me? Like I was turning up hella, drinking, whatever you really want. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just kicking it.
Yeah, I'll never forget that day. And just some of the guys, and we were at the Betplex, and we were in that back office, and just the look on some of these,
it felt
on some
crazy.
of the guys, I just feel like you got the wind kicked out of you because we just got done destroying Cedar Rapids.
Yeah,
the week before. We were supposed to go to we were supposed to go to Arizona,
They was
right?
coming here. They was coming here.
Okay.
They was coming to us.
We would have saw Jared then.
Yeah,
Jared was playing on that.
Jared, yeah,
hey, by the way, we're getting Harrington on this show.
We got to get him. But yeah.
But yeah, 2020, you were in the best shape of your life, and then COVID happened.
And then 21, I wasn't gonna play, but I mean, I was gonna play, but I wasn't ready.
But you went to Bismarck. You went to Bismarck, and
wasn't in shape. I just stopped being in shape. I really stopped caring mentally about that stuff, like, which was like I lost myself for real. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and I can accept that now. Like, I can tell people that I really lost myself in 20, 21, 22, 23. You feel me? I really did. But I ain't lose myself. Now I'm back. And I'm back better than ever. And I ain't forget.
What's the saying now?
Everything's personal.
Everything's personal.
And I ain't forget nothing nobody said. I promise you, everything that everybody ever said is written in my journal. Because it's real. Like, this is real. And I've been the most humblest dude my whole life. No humbleness this year. As far as, like, I'm humbled on other things, but, like, for people who disrespected me, okay, that's cool. I'll remember.
I can't wait to see it, man.
No,
I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to be a part of it. We got a couple more things we got to touch on before we wind this down. We got to talk about 2022. Well, first I want to touch on 2021. Because I was out there with you guys in some capacity in Bismarck. Doing the data analytics and quality control, and it was the first year you guys, Bismarck had ever made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you guys had a nice little playoff run.
We lost first round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lost first round. And then
22.
Coach Ross, comes back to Quad Cities, and this whole COVID thing gets lifted in Illinois, and what happened? I think it's right up here on the wall here.
Yeah, we got some dubs, man. We went to the chip.
Yeah.
We lost, unfortunately, by 2. And I think that took a toll. It started off going good for me, and then when I tore my LCL, MCL, I was supposed to be done. And I begged, can I still play? And it was tough, man. People don't understand. Like, I played on a torn knee, and people never knew. But it was like, I mean, you would know if you know me. Like, okay, he's hobbling, but like,
yeah, I've torn. Personally, I've tore my meniscus, and I know what that feels like. And it blew my mind that you were able to play from week 3 to the national championship game.
Yeah, since we played, I tore it in Frisco, and I played that whole time. Nobody never.
No,
knew.
I thought you tore it in Mass.
No, I tore it. I had got hit in Mass, but I tore it after the Frisco game because my mom spent the night, and me and her slept in the same bed together, and and I was screaming. My dad kept messing with my mom, my dad kept going to my mom in them room, my mom, my brothers and them, and kept messing with him. And my mom like, I gotta get away from this dude. I fucking hate this dude. Da, da, da. And then she get away. She can't. So I'm like, Mom, just come to my room. So we slept together and we was talking all night. And then I went to sleep and I was screaming. And she like, what's wrong? I'm like, man, I can't walk. And that's when I knew that moment that it was. And then ever since then, that was just messed up. And I just would play. I would barely practice. Because I couldn't run. Like I would run, but I really wasn't running. So.
So, unfortunately, we lost, that game, the national championship. That's probably one of the toughest losses that I've ever, took. To this day, I haven't been able to go back and watch the whole game
I'm
yet.
never watching that game. Yeah, I only watched the one play. I watched like 3 plays.
But Coach Ross, really shared something with me, after the fact, that I think you have to soak those moments in, even though they're moments that you don't want to be a part of. Like, I have to admit, I went straight to the locker room. I didn't want to see the confetti fall. I didn't want any of that stuff, but it almost coincides with what you were talking about in like harnessing those negative times in your life. Yeah, a loss is negative, but it's not people, talking crap and whatnot. But, part of me wishes that I would have went out there and just soaked that in, so it would be ingrained in me, to motivate me to coach better, become a better leader, to get to that, to the pinnacle of what we're trying to do in the IFL. So, and then obviously we had last year, we brought a lot of that team back, and, I
wasn't going to come back.
What's that?
I wasn't going to come back.
That's right, because your injury. Yeah, we communicated quite a bit in the offseason.
My knee was messed up still, bro. And like I said, I lost myself. You feel what I'm saying? My brother kept asking, come on, bro, you got to do it, bro. Like, and I'm like, bro, I'm still battling this. For physical therapy, like, this is real. You feel me? Like, I played on a torn knee. It made it worse. You feel me? I got the surgery, like, almost close to September. You see people getting hurt, but they gone for about 7-8 months. I came back in like 5, 6. Right. I should never even did that. So, of course.
So one of the things that I wanted to ask you from like your perspective, and this is, something that I think, people from all different, levels, of athletics, whatever their sport is, when you go from, being Eastern Conference champions and beating, Mass, and then beating Frisco. I mean, just 2 powerhouse, teams. Yeah. We all know what the recipe, to that success was. A lot of it was, humility, selflessness, caring about each other, leading and policing each other, from within. There weren't any egos, or anything on that team. There wasn't any entitlement, things. I mean, we were all on a mission. And what do you think, going into like the follow-on season, that was kind of our Achilles heel, I mean, and you don't have to get like too specific when it comes to maybe specific players or whatever, but just the hurdle from being a champion to trying to having to repeat and go through that process again. Yeah. And something that, we can all maybe take away, from as players, as coaches, from your standpoint.
I don't know, for real. That's tough because I feel like the team we just had was probably the best talent that we ever had, not since I played for this team, was ever across the board. Like, the talent was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it was that. I feel like with the 22 team, it was just more like, I don't know, like, we just played together. It was weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like, we played together in 23. Don't get me wrong, like, for sure. But I feel like 22 is just different. The games. I would say the games that we had a lot of games we were down, so we had to come back. So we had to finish strong. Compared to 23, we was like, we was getting over it. We was 5-1 at one point, 4-1 at one. We was getting over on people. So we didn't have to go through that adversity. I would say that was the biggest thing. We didn't have to go to adversity early. We didn't play Frisco until the playoffs. Right? Now, we played Frisco 3 times in 22. The first time they blew us out. Second time they beat us in overtime. And the third time we won. Right? We went through adversity. That was, in my eyes, that probably was the best Frisco team assembled. They was different. You feel what I'm saying? Like, since I played. So
the reason why I really want to touch on that aspect of it is it's really special when you have teams like the Patriots that can repeat year after year after year, or just different high school programs, different college programs that can repeat that success. Yeah. So I just was curious from a player standpoint what your feedback on, and I think that was
just adversity, for real. You got to go through adversity in order to be on top, for real. And I feel like coming into this next season, we need to go through adversity quick. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but it's gonna eventually happen. So it just
and it's how you cope with that adversity and bounce back from it.
Exactly. And you got to think, we lost early. We lost like in 22. We lost like the first 2 games or something like that. So.
Well, our producer Maceo has given us the heads up that we probably should be wrapping this up here. So I had a couple questions, for you to cap this conversation off. What do you, and you really already touched on quite a few of them, but keys to your success. What do you feel like your keys? I mean, like in one word, if you could come up with like 3 or 4 things,
Support. Support was big for my success. Because people don't know, there's plenty of times where I wanted to give up. You feel me? Even give up on life for real. I never even spoke about that,
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever listen to this and you need like help or you feel like you don't got nobody to talk to, get counseling. Mental health is big. You feel me? And I experienced some terrible, terrible times.
Yeah, we got a whole season, of this podcast, so we can get into that. And I appreciate you.
And I never told nobody that, but I experienced some bad mental health problems. So like. And I'm good now to the point where like I can speak to people and say, man, it's okay to get help. It's okay to want a counselor. Now, me personally, I never had a counselor. I've been told that I need to do that. I just haven't took the initiative to do that, right? And plenty of people told me that, but you gotta deal with it. But support, you gotta turn the negative things, the things that drive you. Like, what's your why, right? My why is my family. My why is proving people wrong. You feel what I'm saying? Because I have proved people right so long, with the bad things that everyone went on. So my whole thing is prove people wrong. And then the third one I would say is just love for real. You feel me? Like, I'm big on love. Like, that's just who I am. If anybody know me, they know like Duncan is a kind-hearted person. Duncan is a loving person. You feel what I'm saying? I'm genuine. Everything is gonna be genuine. So that's really it for real.
The second to last question I have for you is that I think a lot of the coaches that may be watching this, or maybe even up and coming coaches that have aspirations to at coaching professionally, is as a player professionally, as a professional football player, what do you expect from your coaches? I mean, how do you want to be coached, or and I'll elaborate on that just a little bit. Do you want to be someone that you want a coach that jumps your ass all the time, is barking at you, or do you want someone that's more collaboration, eye to eye, coach on the same level? I mean, what's your coaching preference?
I done had it all, so I would say like the coaching that helped throughout my success, the times I was very successful, was coaches who jumped on my ass. You feel what I'm saying? They still listen to, my opinion on something or whatever, but they was on my ass. I had a coach tell me one time, I'm acting like a, So, and literally we was running. He like, what I'm saying? And, people like, why you ain't spaz on him? He coaching me.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? The way my brother coaches, my brother coached very tough, right? People always say. But it's because he wants you to succeed. And a lot of these people, and a lot of these coaches now, you deal with a lot of people, parents dipping in, even with grown-ups, professionals. Sometimes parents dipping in with professionals or college. You got to give tough love, because sometimes people don't even have father figures or something like that. So, if I'm not talking to you, if I'm not jumping down your neck, I don't care about you. If I don't say nothing, I don't care about you. That's what I was always taught from people.
I think, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I think there's a time and a place when you're coming up, through prep football, high school football, and college. There's a time and place. But I'm more, my question was more as a pro athlete, do pro athletes tune that out? When you're a grown ass man, when you're 26, 27 years old, you want someone ridiculing you, in the locker room, and
you gotta
block
out the tone, listen to the message.
Gotcha.
That's the main thing. Whatever he's telling you, leave the tone alone. Just listen to the message. You feel what I'm saying? It's his passion. He's just talking because he believes so much in you, or he believes this in you, or that you can do this. He expect more out of you, or whatever it is. Just listen to the message.
Gotcha.
It's just passion with the game.
I was just curious because you hear a lot of different things, on social media and the news and whatnot. You see videos and things. So I was just curious. I'm going to ask that same question, to Jared and maybe some of the other guys that are on, on the podcast. I mean, how do you like to be coached as a pro?
Yeah.
So the last question is, anything that you haven't already touched on, any advice that you could, provide up and coming pro athletes that are, we're going to have a pretty big rookie class, this year, coming in, only a handful of vets, you and Jared, Rudd, your brother, are really the true veterans, that are, going to be coming back. Any advice do you have for any of these new guys?
New guys all around, people, period. I would just say, the biggest thing I would say I learned late was I wasn't open to anything else. I remember my agent was talking about CFL, AFL. I'm like, dude, if it ain't NFL, I ain't going, right? Be open to everything. Be open to arena football. Be open to kickball. I don't care. Be open to it. Listen to it. Hear it out. And only person who knows if they can deal with the situation is you. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Because you have to go through the situation. So, like, any player, if you listen to this for real, just be open to, whatever journey it might be open for you, man, and see it for yourself. You feel me? And see the opportunity for yourself, because opportunity only come dime a dozen, for real.
Good. That's really good feedback.
So, like, you just got to do what you got to do, man, and take the leap of faith on your own. Because I can listen to somebody who say, man, don't go play arena football, but he also could have been cut 10 times, but I don't know that. I can go listen to another guy who say, hey, go play for this team, but he was the face of the franchise of the team. He had a great experience. Just like in college. A person, when I was say, when they would give me recruits, I would let the recruit talk to me and go talk to some other people. Because you got two different experiences. You got a guy who playing, and you're going to listen to another guy who experience is different, who might not be playing, who don't have the same friend group as me, who don't do the things that I do. You get two different points of views. Now you get them different points of views. Now it's up to you to make that move. Because I can't make the move for you, because you got to live with it.
Man, I think that's really good feedback. Well, I think, we pretty much touched on everything we want to talk about today. I want to, maybe the next episode get into, your life insurance business, a little bit, and some other things. We'll kind of, just do a carryover, on our next episode. We got all season, we're going to be together until August at least, and it'll be carryover, into my college season and stuff. But I think, we should give a shout out to our producer Maceo for putting all this together.
Maceo, man, he did all this.
He's put a lot of this stuff together in a short period of time. I like to call
y'all need to book him right now. DM the page, get with him, because he did all this, y'all.
I like to say he's the brains behind the operation. So we got to take our hats off to you and, appreciate everything.
No cap. No cap. Tell him. No cap. Shout out to Maceo.
So I think we're gonna call it a first episode, and stay tuned for episode 2.
Hey, appreciate y'all for watching the Extra Yards. It's your boy Duncan with Coach West. You feel me? Good vibes only. Hey, see y'all later.